Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a lesson through the spirit. It says authorities are literally losing control of the streets as America's societal collapse accelerates. Okay, now, shit, this got Jacob's trouble written all on it because, as you know, tensions between the citizens of Babylon have grown enormously tense since the time of the pandemic, even before that, but things have really hit its peaking head now since inflation is at an all-time high and people losing money, people being evicted from their homes, and, people just can't seem to cope with everyday life. As we like to say, the elites are putting a squeeze on people, pressure from beneath, pressure from above. And they're squeezing every nook and cranny out of everybody as they're working, and they appear to be making more money, but the cost of living has gone up dramatically. Like today I was in the business of looking for, another place, because just to get a bigger spot for real, just to have a little space. But, and sometimes I just look things up to see what's what. And I was looking up these lofts, man, and these motherfuckers was trying to charge me, I think, $990 for a 390 square foot loft. I'm like, motherfucker, this ain't New York City. This ain't Chicago. This is Kansas City. That's a $200. That's a $200 loft. And we're really realistically maybe between 5 to 10 years ago, maybe, you would have got that for a decent price down here. But no, they're trying to charge Jake $12.99 for 500 square feet. And it's because you're paying for the location and the cheap new amenities, man. And that shit is putting people between a rock and a hard place because people are choosing to live luxury, for pennies on a dollar, and they can't even afford it. I think the average 700 to 890 square foot apartment or loft in the downtown area, that shit going for $1,700. But these same lofts was $700, $800 just 5 years ago, and they're currently raising the rent up on them. So, yeah, Babylon is collapsing, man, and people are losing their minds, bro. They can't afford to live. Food is going up, the price of living is going up. Car insurance has went up. I mean, it's just, they're pricing people out. And this is why you're seeing people on these social media platforms revert to social media, and they're bugging the hell out, man, because they can't deal with it. They're like, man, this is just too much. Okay? So it says, in a civilized society, authorities are able to maintain at least a basic level of law enforcement. Hold on one second, Salakia. Yep, it says, to maintain at least a basic level of law and order in the streets most of the time. But unfortunately, at this point, it's up for debate whether the United States is still a civilized society or not. Like, you go out there in California, man, and like Oakland and parts of LA, it's like a third world country out there. Snatching grabs, motherfuckers running the spots. I mean, they do the shit in broad daylight on video, and they record themselves doing it. Like, I believe that was it may have been downtown LA, and there was this one nigga, he went in Apple, and he stole like 49 iPhones, man, and he was just putting them shits in his pockets, and then he walked out the store, and there was a getaway car, and he just peeled out, like on some real GTA type shit. And not only in LA, you got snatching grab. Well, you got mass robbery and car theft in Chicago. Shit, let's not get into Philly and Baltimore. I'm surprised there's even cops out there still. And crime is getting hella bad, man. Like, I was at the gym yesterday, and I had this ex-police officer, because he works out at the gym I work out at, and and I perceive that these people, they try to figure out Jake, and he talked to me from time to time and said he was a retired police officer. So, I made peace, I make peace with everybody I deal with for the most part. And I was telling him like I was into like the jujitsu and the martial arts and all that other shit. So this motherfucker had the audacity to tell me yesterday, he said, man, you would be a good police officer. I said, nah. He said, I don't know. I'm not trying to get in your business, but I'm not trying to, get in your business, but I don't know how you feel about law enforcement. And my first thing was to tell him, like, look, man, fuck a cop. I was going to say that, but, giving subtlety to the simple, I don't know this guy's motive, because he asked me my name. And I told him the name that everybody calls me. I didn't give him like my authentic first name, but I told him the name that everybody knows me by. You know? Fucking mess, man. I gotta call an exterminator. This shit is getting out of fucking hand. Like, literally, these things are coming in through the cracks of the windows, and I got the shit taped up. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, so he asked my name. He said, what you say your name is? And, you know, I told him, you know, the name that everybody call me. You know, people that don't know me call me this, you know, because most people, I don't tell them my fucking name. They don't need to know my name. But, you know, he was looking at, you know, because I work out, you know what I'm saying? I work out and shit like that. And he was like, you know, man, I can put a word in for you down at the state. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Nah, I'm good. He said, I think you would be a good officer. I said, what you mean by that? He said, you'd just be naturally good. I said, how the fuck do you know what I would be good in? Like, motherfucker, you don't even know me, bruh. Like, how the hell you dictate my skills because you looking at my physical build and what I say I like to do? Like, that you can't determine what I can do, what I can be good at. And, you know, because when he mentioned, he said, yeah, he was SWAT and all this other shit. And, you know, he said he went on raids and doing this. So back in my mind, I was like, yeah, he used to beat the shit out of Jake. And he's trying to see how I feel about the police officer because there's a shortage. And I'm like, well, the way the police officers are now today, I'm like, I don't think nobody really wants to join the police force. You would be a fucking fool to want to join a goddamn fucking police force. All right? Even police officers are looking to get out that shit because police officers are getting shot at in broad daylight, man. And that's a wicked organization. Even though all the cops in that organization might not necessarily have ill intent, but overall, being a police officer, that's a wicked ass organization, man. I will pass on that. All right. Like if I was a fucking gobbler, I would be on some Alonzo type shit off training day. Just being real, because I mean, for what? It's corrupt any goddamn way. But basically, you see what's happening here. They can't even control the streets. Everything is going to hell in a handbasket, man. You know. But anyway, it says here. The chaos is in our streets never seems to end, and those that are in charge of running things don't seem to be able to regain control. And you got to understand that this is a controlled demolition, okay? This is all set up. The elites are purposely defunding the police, okay? And they're funding these migrants coming across the border, these Chinese nationals, these Iranian nationals, these Arabian nationals, you know what I'm saying? And these Venezuelans, they're all being funded by the left-hand side, okay, to come over here and to totally destroy Babylon. So that way they can have a justification on bringing in a more strenuous military force, if that make any sense. Because the whole purpose is to collapse Babylon the Great. Okay, the elites is not trying to redeem this place because there's nothing to redeem. This place is going to be destroyed. All right? But it says here, and those that are in charge of running things don't seem to be able to regain control. It says the theft, violence, mayhem, like the scriptures say, blood touching blood. It says the theft, violence, and mayhem that we are witnessing in our major cities is being fueled by the worst homelessness crisis in our entire history, the worst drug crisis in our entire history, and the worst migration crisis in our entire history. And all those things are done by design. It says if authorities cannot control our streets now, what is going to happen when our societal collapse reaches much more an advanced stage? And the question is, you ain't going to do nothing about it. Okay, because the Most High is getting ready to bring the threshing floor here. This is going to be the place of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's judgment. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. And there's no better for America. It gets worse. So it says here, Robin Bach and her husband were absolutely thrilled when they were able to purchase their new dream home in Concord, New Hampshire, several years ago. But now her children won't even play in the backyard because it has been taken over by a homeless encampment. And that's absolutely right, because even here in Missouri, like back in the day, they had homeless camps out here. Pre-pandemic, they had homeless camps, but most people was ducked off like in the woods. And then, you know, you have a couple of guys that live on the bridges and so forth like that. Because I remember when I was working for this particular company, we used to have to sometimes clean up homeless camps. And I started back with them in 2018. So this is even pre-pandemic time. So you had homelessness. Because America was already on the verge of a collapse then. You had a retail apocalypse at that time because stores were closing down left and right. You know? Hold on 1 second. Damn, even the baby ones. All that hitting you here. If you hear me hitting something, is because I'm hitting like I'm killing these damn bugs that's flying around in here. So Salakia for the noise. I don't know what's up with these fucking biting midges or these no-sims, but they're literally all over the place. That's how you know we're under a plague, because this whole building is like infested with them. Could be because they didn't clean out those P-traps downstairs. A lot of times those things generate moisture, and then sometimes they dry out and they emit a certain smell. And a lot of times these bugs, they create a nest hive inside, and then they migrate. So it could be what it is. It could be coming through the vents or the drains, as well as these cracks of the windows. So Salakia about that, brothers. But anyway, so I remember cleaning out homeless camps 6-7 years ago, you know. I remember it was this one in particular individual, like, if you know what the overpasses are, like on the E-way, which we call the expressway, or your definition of the highway, they a lot of times homeless people, they built like homes underneath the bridges and shit, and we have to go in there and clean it out. So the homeless here is crazy. I mean, you got homeless people living down in Westport in front of lawyer firms and shit, man. It's in front of law firms, camping out in the backyards of those. So it's getting bad. But it says that sprouted up behind a historic home, leading to violent encounters with the migrants, according to the report. So basically, shit is getting critical. It reads, it says, Robin Bach and her husband spent years restoring their 19th century dream home in a Concord to raise their two children, 8 and 11, but have been plagued by campers living inside the woods behind a palatial abode. See? And it says, but they received death threats and have heard gunshots and screams from beyond the tree line. It says a swing set in their backyard, bought in 2020 during the pandemic, sits untouched by our terrified children who are only playing in front of the yard. But thousands of homeless encampments are popping up in communities all over this place because they have something which is called squatters, man. Okay, you got people that can squat on your property, and if you own a house, then you can't do nothing about it. They'll take you to jail. Come on, man. Damn. Anyway, it says thousands of homeless encampments are popping up in communities all across the country. But Bach and her family have been endlessly terrorized by those that are camping out just behind their property, and it is being reported that she called the police at least 37 times. So since purchasing a house in 2018 with grand plans to renovate and raise a family, Bach has called the police 37 times, according to police records reviewed by the newspaper. 6 calls were for an area check, another 6 for disturbances, as well as domestic violence and criminal trespassing incidents. But I suppose that they can sell the house at a loss and move someplace where the homeless have not yet taken over. But the problem is that the homeless encampments keep on spreading to new areas. Yep. Meanwhile, the violence in our major cities just continues to escalate. It says over the 4th of July holiday weekend, a total of 109 people were shot in the city of Chicago, which that's relatively small because overall, including the surrounding suburbs, you got 9.72 million people that live in the Chicago area. So 100-some people shot ain't shit, but still, that's a lot. But it says 109 people across have been shot and 19 fatally in gun violence across Chicago since Wednesday during the extended 4th of July holiday weekend, police said. Okay? So, yeah, man, the shit is getting ready to turn up. Shit is getting ready to get real out here. Okay? And the law enforcement ain't going to be able to do too much because they don't have the manpower nor the necessary funding to do what they got to do. So, hey, it's going to be all types of riot. It's going to be all types of chaos. Martial law is going to have to set in because, you know, people are afraid, man, you know. So my advice to them, you better get you a fucking firearm or something and protect your property and your family, because that's what it's going to boil down to, man, eventually, because police, they're going to stop coming. After so many times you call 911, eventually they just going to say, fuck it, we ain't coming out no more, man. All right, because this is the bloody city. Blood, touch of blood. Hopefully. Oh, yeah, it's actually what I was looking for. This is the book about Hosea 4, and I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, hear the word of the Lord, O ye children of Israel. for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. All right, and mainly it's you Jakes that's out here cutting out. Yeah, now Esau too. You got those real barbaric, homeless, dirty ass Edomites, them druggies. You gotta watch out for them too, man. They be having needles and shit on them. But a lot of it is you wicked ass niggas, man. Like a lot of them snatch and grabs, it be Jake in the Northern Kingdom doing it. And then you got some Edomites in there too. But it says by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. Okay? Right, because there's going to be a lot of bloodshed here in America, and it is now. Okay, crime at an all-time high. I was just watching a video. I don't know if it was in America or in the islands, but basically these two Jakes got into a fight, and it was this one Jake, I guess his son, beat up the nigga woman's son. And then basically this nigga woman ran up on this dude, basically putting his hands in his face, and he popped the bitch. He shot her ass in front of all her kids. Now, I don't know if he really killed her, because it looked like she was still moving as our kids was running off, so he probably just disabled her or immobilized her. But nonetheless, he still shot the bitch in front of everybody in fucking broad daylight, man. So that show you right there, shit can get left. So, you know, don't be arguing with people if you don't have to. And if you could de-escalate things, do it. Okay, don't make you a punk or a coward or anything like that. You just got a bigger purpose here. But nonetheless, if somebody threatens your person, meaning your safety, and violates your space, then you got to do what you got to do, man. You know, do what the hell you got to do, because these niggas out here, they're off their goddamn minds, man. All right, but it says, therefore should the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth there in shall language. Yeah, the homelessness. Okay, people buying properties, but yet you got homeless. What it look like you spend $500,000 on a damn house? Got some niggas up here now, man. You spend $500,000. These niggas are moving up here. You know, like dude was just drinking. Here go a trash can, and dude was drinking something, and he just threw the shit on the side of the trash. Like, what the fuck, man? But anyway, what do you look like spending $500,000 on a house just to have a bunch of homeless bums that come and shit and piss on your property and don't clean it up? You know, motherfuckers picking your locks at night. You know, they bringing all types of unwanted attention, doing drugs by your pool. That got to be frustrating to say the least. And one thing about these liberal cities, they make it next to impossible for you to own a firearm, man. So people are fucked. And you can't call the cops because the cops ain't going to do nothing. Well, we got to report, call us if something else happened. No, they got a stand down order. You know, but let that be you and me. They're just walking, minding our business. If we get the cops called on us, they'll come and they'll arrest us, man. But it says, with the beasts in the field and with the fowls of the heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also should be taken away, man. Okay? But nonetheless, hey, this place is getting ready to see the purge, man. And you can feel it. People are fed up with it. They don't want to deal with it anymore. All right? This is the book of Nahum 3, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, woe to the bloody city. And what's the bloody city? America. Okay? This is like one of the most violent places on earth. Now, yeah, you do have violent places. But as far as demographic-wise, they say America have more guns than citizens. Okay, so you got roughly 350 million people. That's documented. You probably got another 30, 40 million that's not documented. Then again, you know, that's pretty a big number, so I won't say that. You probably got a couple of 100,000 or close to a million people that's undocumented. So roughly, man, you got 2 guns per citizen. You got over 600, 700 million guns in this goddamn place, man. And some people got 9, 10 guy. Esau, man. Esau he owned guns like he owned fucking gym shoes, man. You know, like he owned a tire. You know? He owned guns. I mean, Esau collects guns for sports. Straight up, bro. Like, you'd be surprised on how many weapons these Edomites have, because that's their blessing. So you got millions of guns in this place, man. And they're gonna be used. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departed not. Okay, and who is the prey? Okay, you could say the prey is Jake, but overall, the real prey is you devils, because your Yahweh Shai is getting ready to prey on you damn Edomites, man. You know? So yeah, brothers, man, just stay prayed up. You know, keep your head about you, keep your wits, because it's getting bad. And I mean, I'm seeing it. You can feel the tensions, you can feel the evil. You know, you can feel the spirit coming off people, and they ain't in their right spirit, they ain't in their right mind. And this is why the scriptures say what it say, because this is getting ready to be the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? So this is the book of Mark 13, and I'm going to start at verses Let's start at. Let me take this off real quick. Let me do this because that's confusing. I can't really see. So this is the book of Mark 13. And I'm going to start at 14. It says, but when ye should see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, let him that read it understand. Then him that be in Judea flee to the mountains. Now this is going into 70 AD. Okay, because the abomination that made desolation at that time was those Romans, man, okay, that besieged Jerusalem. But it reads, it says, and let him that is on the housetop not go down therein, neither enter therein too to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And pray ye that your flight be not in winter. For in those days should be affliction, such it was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall it be, okay? Meaning that we're coming into a time of all human suffering. Okay, the time we getting ready to enter into is going to make the time of Masada look like child's play. And that was a horrific, that was a type of Jacob's trouble at that particular time. But actual Jacob's trouble, we're entering it. Okay, any day now, we're going to see a societal collapse. And the reason it says, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he have chosen, he have shortened the days. So as these days are like freaking seconds, when Jacob's trouble come, the time is going to go even quicker, because that's when that chip is going to be instituted. And that's when things are going to speed up, because the MOTB is going to be instituted in Jacob's trouble, man. And this is why we know that things are going to come quick, because shit, things are moving fast now. All right, it's already finna be Friday. I mean, we just left for 4th of July weekend. I just remember getting off work Wednesday and having Thursday off, you know. And now all of a sudden, we in another week. So, yeah, man, it's getting ready to go down out here. Now, when you read this in the New Living Testament, it reads, start at verses 14. It says, the day is coming when you will see the sacrilegious object that causes discretion standing where he should not be. It says, then those in Judea must flee to the hills. A person out on the deck of the roof must not go down into his house to pack, and a person out in the field must not return to even get a coat. But how terrible it would be for pregnant women and for nursing mothers in those days. And there's a lot of women that's getting pregnant. Well, quite a bit. Though we know a lot of women are, what do you call it, infertile or sterile. A lot of men are sterile. A lot of women, they can't produce babies because the juice that they took has damaged their reproductive systems. And that was one major thing. We call it a Depop, if you know what that means. But it reads here, it says, and pray your flight be not in winter, for there would be greater anguish in those days than at any time since the Most High created the world, and it will never be so great again. And in fact, unless the Lord shortens that time of calamity, not a single person would survive. But for the sake of his chosen ones, he has shortened those days. So yeah, brothers, it's getting ready to get real grisly out here. You know, and we can't say that enough, because you're going to have race riots, you're going to have class riots, the have versus the have-nots, the homeless versus the people that ain't got homes, homeless versus homeless, cops versus cops, all types of shit. You finna have a total breakdown and division in society. Okay, neighbors against neighbors, mothers against daughters, fathers against sons, sisters against brothers, brothers against sisters, brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters. Okay, brothers in the truth, or that was in the truth, fall out and come against brothers that's still in the truth. I mean, there's gonna be a division on all sides, man. Okay, and you either with the Lord or you not. All right, so this is the book of 2nd Esdras 13, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 29. It says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and we're coming into those times. And he should come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So you're going to have fighting on all sides, including World War, which they're currently prepping for. Okay? But I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify until the next lesson. Shalom.